I'm saying when, and you're on camera.
All right. Well, this time for Matt Sips Things, my wife got me a bottle of Blade and Bow. And the thing about Blade and Bow is some amount of whiskey in here comes from the original Stitzel-Weller distillery. And Stitzel-Weller is where Patsy was made. Not Patsy. Pappy Van Winkle. I can say that.
Patsy, and he hasn't had anything to drink yet.
Not yet.
Not at all today.
I apparently need to drink more.
Patsy was Pappy's sister.
So I can patter my plosives.
There's a sister bourbon. No.
Yes, there was no sister bourbon. Sorry. Anyway, it may only be a drop, but some of the bourbon in here came from the original Stitzel-Weller distillery where Pappy Van Winkle was made. I've never had this bourbon before, but let's try and see what it's like.
And you're having it on an ice cube because?
Because you're supposed to have bourbon with water or ice. People who drink bourbon neat, you're not really getting it the way it's supposed to be drank. I mean, you can drink it that way if you want, but bourbon is really designed to be had with water. I mean, not a ton of water, but like a drop or two or an ice cube. Anthony Bourdain had a good rule, I think. He said if it's more than 20 years old, drink it neat. If it's less than 20 years old, put some water or an ice cube in it. So, I'm drinking this with an ice cube. What am I getting? It's fairly hot for a bourbon. There's definitely some nice flavors there. I mean, it's got some of the nice bourbon flavors. You get a little bit of vanilla. You get a little bit of that, I guess you'd call it caramel, you know. A lot of the traditional brown booze. I myself have never tasted leather. I'm not going to go lick my belt and tell you whether there are hints of leather in this. But, you know, because bourbon has this sort of tradition around it, you think of things like leather and hunting prints and, I don't know, hunting dogs and all that sort of good stuff.
Wool and tobacco?
Yes, wool and tobacco and quarter horses and southern gentlemen and whatnot. To me, this tastes like pretty good bourbon. I mean, it's... yeah, I mostly get vanilla and caramel. It's a nice bourbon. It's a perfectly good drinkable bourbon.
Is it sweet or no?
It's barely sweet.
Oh, that's good.
I think it's actually more hot than sweet. Mostly you get the alcohol up front, and then you get sort of the bourbon elements. It's a bit hot in the back of the throat too, but I mean it is a well-crafted blended bourbon. From what I've read on it, it's blended from a lot of different bourbons. So don't buy this expecting that you're going to get the secret bottle of Pappy. If you want Pappy, you need to spend money and buy Pappy if you can. If you can't, like the rest of us poor slobs, you'll just have to dream about it. So don't go into this expecting that you're going to taste Pappy or anything like Pappy. This is a good drinking bourbon. It's nice. I mean, it's nice enough that I wouldn't buy it just to use in cocktails, but if I wanted to make an old fashioned with this or a Manhattan, it'd be good for that too. So yeah, there you go. Perfectly good bourbon. Since it was a gift, I don't know how much it cost, but yeah, I think it's right up in there with, like, I don't know, I think it's comparable to something like Woodford Reserve or any of your like $40-ish bourbons.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So there you go, Blade and Bow.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sláinte.